dump off where he went for 83 yards, and it didn't end up being a touchdown, but that all of a sudden like gave them so much
momentum
juice.
changer. Yeah, big time.
Yeah. So and to be fair to like Luke said, you know, I know Jimmy Garoppolo's been up and down, and look, I know I'm still excited for Lance, for Lance, Trey Lance down the road.
Yep.
But I think watching the Colts game, I don't know, he had like 2 picks. That last pick was on the rain. But like, I think for the most part, he played well in those moments. Even going back to, I guess, his last full game against Green Bay, I thought he played fairly well. I think where Trey Lance is currently, I think this is the right move to keep Garoppolo the starter. Maybe they should mix in Trey Lance for some possessions just to give him reps.
Wildcat stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they got Elijah Mitchell. He's playing well at running back. This is the second game in a row where he's had 100 yards rushing. Debo is playing phenomenal for them. And, you know, on defense, you know, shockingly, Nick Bosa, he had 2 sacks. A guy named Samson Abukum. You want to talk about an awesome name, Samson Abukum.
Whoa, I mean, that's a name
he
there.
He had a sack, so
it's biblical. Yeah. Samson.
So like, you know, like, and you know what? The 49ers, like, they're 3-4. They play Arizona, and, you know, they played Arizona tight with Trey Lance. I mean, I think Garoppolo plays a little bit better than Trey Lance right now. I mean, maybe he makes enough different plays. And also, I don't think Mitchell was 100% for that game. Now Elijah Mitchell's going. So, I mean, maybe they steal another win against Arizona, particularly if DeAndre Hopkins can't go. Obviously, he had a hamstring injury, and you don't know how long it'll take to come back from that. So, like, I don't know. Like, San Francisco now all has momentum. It is kind of a lost season for Chicago. But the main thing is, I think J-Boy would agree, the main thing this whole year was really honestly just Justin Fields getting experience, and hopefully gradually progressively a few games, like, he gets better.
Well, you're going to lose 700 reps. You know, he needs 700 reps. That's on my scale. Speaking of somebody who could be getting some reps, could Cam Newton be getting some reps for New Orleans since Jameis got damaged? That was one of those moments where you're like, it kind of reminded me of the Dak Prescott, not as horrendous looking.
Right.
But when that knee folded, man, that was brutal. I wish him the best. I don't think he's the fit, and I don't think Taysom Hill is the fit.
Well, they got Trevor Siemian, and I think they're hoping for things from him, right?
He did well. I mean, you know, he did okay in that game.
But Brady cannot beat the Saints. What's going on? They got his number in the house, in the dome.
Yeah, well, that last interception, you know.
But I was sorry to see that about your boy Jameis, because I think the turf caused that injury. If that was grass, I think the dirt in the grass might have given way and he'd be okay. But that turf just tears you up sometimes. The monster got him.
Yeah, statistically, I went to look for stats on you know, the difference in injuries on grass and on turf. It's about 28 to 30% more injuries occur on turf. So. Yeah, that's not good.
Not good.
But,
not good.
Yeah, New Orleans does seem to have Tampa Bay's number for some reason. Maybe it's Sean Payton, and he knows Bruce Arians well enough to be able to predict.
I was going to say my main takeaway from this game is, like, I mean, I know some of us don't like Sean Payton for his personality. He does seem kind of prickly.
You mean being a cheater back in the day and the Bounty Gate and all that? What are you talking about? What you talking about?
And he does seem kind of douchey. I mean, I'm not going to mince around that.
Hey, they're in New Orleans.
A-holius kind of thing.
That being said, yes. Like for him to have Trevor Siemian play the majority of the game and beat Tom Brady when Tom Brady's on fire, it's just a credit to him. I mean, Siemian played okay, but I mean, you know, their leading receiver in yardage for New Orleans, I know Jay Boyle like this, was Kevin White. With one reception for 38 yards.
Kevin White, the old bear.
Yeah, so they're doing it completely by platoon at this point. And I know I've been harsh on Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill will be a huge upgrade if they get him back. I think that over Trevor Siemian and maybe maybe Cam Newton is the answer to maybe keeping New Orleans rolling. I think on defense, the main thing comes down to Brady's main weakness is, I think, the blueprint, and not. It's hard to say a blueprint because he still threw for 375, 4 touchdowns.
True,
but
yeah,
he
there's that.
You have, and again, it's not easy to do because obviously a lot of it comes down to personnel. You have to have good corners, and you have to be able to play press man because he's a rhythm thrower. So if you can knock his guys off route and jam them, it makes it harder for him because he lives off rhythm.
But suddenly the Buccaneers are 6-2, and here are the Saints at 5-2. So man, it's interesting.
Yeah,
I was just wanting to get to, me, I've got to get to this Cowboy game, Minnesota.
Who is Cooper Rush? Who is this guy? Who is Cooper Rush? Please help me.
I don't know, but they kept showing his parents on the sideline, because
I know how you are about redheaded quarterbacks, Carson Wentz and Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle. Now we got Cooper Rush, first start. Incredible. Incredible.
What that points out to me basically is Dallas is good in.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Are they good? Are they the ones?
I'd have to say yes. I mean, when you take a third, fourth string quarterback, whatever he is, and it shows that you have talent at all the skill positions. I mean, they ran just enough. Amari Cooper always was on the sideline rolling on the tennis ball and with whatever that massage device was. But he'd get over there and get that leg loosened up, come back in, make a catch, go back. And CeCe Lamb, he's the Jerry Rice of this era for me. I mean, he is an amazing receiver.
Anyway. Jerry Rice. Well, to me,
wow.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say, Simeon Rice or I don't know. Anyway, to me,
red beans and rice.
Tony Pollard as number 2 running back is as good as Zeke. To be honest, in some cases.
Oh, yeah.
So they got. I don't know. They're pretty. I was impressed.
And their defense, I got to give it to them.
Oh yeah.
It's Quinn has turned those boys around. That one kid, Micah Parsons.
Oh my gosh,
man, he was everywhere.
Rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had 11 tackles, 10 solo, 4 tackles for loss. Like he was definitely instrumental in kind of quieting Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, by Dalvin Cook standards, had a ho-hum day, 78 yards rushing.
Right.
And a lot of credit. Like I said, I mean, and even though they won, I feel like Dallas would have won probably by a bigger margin if Smith, their left tackle, once he got injured, their offense really kind of slowed down and sputtered because Everson Griffin, who's on his comeback tour with Minnesota Vikings, he wrecked enough plays and possessions for the Cowboys with his pressure he kept that game close. He was, if there was a star for Minnesota last night, I think it was Everson Griffin. Like he kept him in it.
Agree.
But the combination of Amari Cooper, I mean, that touchdown pass, I mean, to be fair, it was a great pass by Cooper Rush. It was an even better catch because that catch at high point and have a guy essentially punching you as you're up in the air, having to get your feet down and also like brace for impact and retain the ball. It was great. But even to set that up, Ezekiel Elliott, what looked like they were setting up a field goal to go into overtime, Ezekiel Elliott being able to split those 2 defenders to get the first down and get them closer in the red zone. That was the huge play by Elliott, who's definitely on a redemption year, coming off his worst year last year. So, yeah, everything's going right for the Cowboys, even with Dak being out for a game. Credit. And again, if we're going to give credit to Sean Payton, who it's easier to, I know maybe some of us aren't the biggest believers in Mike McCarthy. Credit to Mike McCarthy and like how they got Cooper Rush situated in this situation to be able to win. So.
And
I don't think it was McCarthy. I think it was Kellen Moore.
you don't like it.
McCarthy just works on his beard and his pizza, I think.
Pizza diet.
I guess I was going to ask you all. This will be a question since it is Dallas. Who looks weirder with a beard? Mike McCarthy or Day for Ohio State?
Whoa.
I'm going to go McCarthy. He looks worse.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
It's because, McCarthy's noggin is just massive. So,
Day's isn't. Day has has a pumpkin on his neck.
Yeah, true.
So prediction: Cooper Rush will be the next Matt Schwab. Have a couple of really good games, get paid big time, and get a starting job somewhere, and then flame out. Let's all agree to that. Cooper Rush, give me a break on that.
Yeah.
All right, one more game we would need to talk about is the Packers Cardinals. Man, okay, are the Packers for real? Is this it? Are they the unstoppables? Come on.
Well,
wow.
I gotta say, even though the numbers weren't great for Aaron Rodgers in this game, he stuck with the game plan. Their plan was basically to keep the Cardinals off the field, to keep Kyler off the field. And they did it. I mean, they juke, jive, dunk, whatever it took just to keep the chains moving. I mean, they really did it. I was impressed, and it takes a lot for me to say anything positive about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he is a very gifted football player and a great football mind. He sees things quicker than anybody that I've ever seen. But he's just a flake to me at this point. But anyhow,
a flake.
A flake. I do think you and they were doing it without Devontae Adams, and Cobb got his catches in, which is Rodgers wanted him, he got him, and it paid off.
Yeah.
So down the road, I think NFC
to be reckoned with.
Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is they went on a shortened week. They went on the road to the team that was undefeated.
Yep.
They were without Devontae Adams, who's easily their best receiver. I don't even know who you'd say the second one. I guess you'd say is Lazard. He was also out on COVID. Mm-hmm. So their best receiver was Randall Cobb, who was very efficient, 15 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then even one of their other best receivers from last year in terms of scoring touchdowns, Robert Tonyan, he got injured in, I believe, the third quarter and tore his ACL. So they're without him. But, credit to, like Lugg said, just to go with the numbers, time of possession was 37 minutes, 35 seconds for the Packers to 22 minutes, 25 seconds for the Cardinals. So they were able to control the clock. All the turnovers went against Arizona. They had a fumble loss and 2 interceptions by Kyler Murray. They were able to win the turnover battle. It's just they were able to stay with the running game. Neither of them had like a particularly great night in terms of rushing it. But, A.J. Dillon had 78 yards rushing. And Aaron Jones had 59, and Aaron Jones probably was low just because he was in effect their best receiver with all those guys out. He had 51 yards receiving as well. So like you all said, like, I know he's not hard to like, and his numbers, when you look at them, aren't overwhelming, but it's just like, if you watch that game, he understood his defense was playing well. His running game was going well. Again, kind of like the Rams, he doesn't care about his stats anymore. He just wants to get W's.
Just win, baby.
So, yeah, big credit to Aaron Rodgers. Big credit to Green Bay. Looking like, I'm not going to say a juggernaut, but again, to be fair, their defense is playing well, and they're missing some key parts, so they're going to get healthier. Yeah. I don't know if Jair Alexander will come back, but they'll get Zadarius Smith back. And also, they picked up Jalen Smith, and they picked up Whitney Merciless. So I don't know how much Whitney Merciless has gas in his tank, but as a rotational player, he'll probably still be good. And Jalen Smith, he could be a good linebacker for him. So, I mean, yeah, the Green Bay is I think, getting in a spot where they could be the team to beat in the NFC.
Crazy stuff.
You rarely, if ever, see them spend money mid-season to bring guys in, but this time around they did, and they had enough cap space, I guess, to get everybody. So, yeah.
Also, they know this is